so much for being with us as part of HJ's virtual week to do a session on how to use isolation, which obviously we are all currently in, to transform your hair business. So I guess, first of all, why would you say now is the perfect time to be thinking about your business and how you can make changes to it?
Well, I suppose since this all started, and because I'm based in Ireland and we were closed down a lot earlier than everybody else, and we were just, we were in this situation. And the first thing that occurred to me, and it's stayed with me, is that now everybody has time to work on their businesses and work on themselves. Because, as you know, I run so many workshops and everything. And the thing I get back the whole time is, but Liz, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I never have the time. So the one thing we do have now is time.
Plenty of time now.
And the second thing that I'm 100% certain about is that hair salons are completely recession proof. There is no doubt about that.
That's really
it's absolutely recession proof. And once this is lifted, I have the opposite worry for people than what I normally have, insofar as everybody is going to be beating down your doors. There is without a shadow of a doubt.
Basically, the time everyone's got now, they are not going to have in a couple of months' time, because all of the clients are going to want to come in straight away.
Oh my God, it is just going to be so busy.
Like a Christmas rush kind of
every
scenario.
week will be like Christmas week. Therefore, things that you might have got away with in the past, you won't get away with now, because you're just going to be so busy, and everybody needs to be on their game. Like your front of house, your cleaners, your stylists, your juniors, everybody, because there's going to be such a demand. So, so use this time wisely, because you won't have it again. No. Hopefully we'll never have it again. We've never had it before. Hopefully we never have it again.
So obviously we have got this time at the moment. Where should a salon owner, or indeed a freelance hairdresser who wants to work on their at-home style business, where should they start?
Well, I think, first of all, I think this is a big challenge, because people keep contacting me and saying, what do we do for when we're open? We don't know when we're going to be open. So I think we've got to accept that. And I think the biggest challenge is to learn to slow down. We all go at such a pace. Now we've got to slow down and sit with ourselves. The danger is, because we run such disciplined lives in salons, that we're not used to being, sitting down with ourselves, and it would be very easy to stay in bed all day, or stay in bed and then get up and look at the television all day. And
we've got a lot of people watching here, so it's a good sign. Everyone's up and dressed. And, well, I hope you're all dressed anyway.
I do these lives I do my own lives every day at 11 o'clock, and I'm so grateful for it, because it makes me get up, get dressed, put on my makeup, and do my best with my hair. I know it's not great, but I can do my best with it. And I think we've got to bring those disciplines in. So I think the first thing to do is to kind of understand that we are where we are. There's no point in being an ostrich and putting your head in the sand and saying, this is going to go away in 5 minutes. It's not, or it's not as this is the situation for the foreseeable future. That would be the first thing, to accept it. And then the second thing would be then to say, look, you've now got time to take care of your health. You are the driving force. You are the engine behind your business, and you've got to be firing on all cylinders when this is over. I'm not too concerned about people physically, because I think now, you've got time to eat properly and sleep properly and exercise, so we have time to do that. I am concerned that people take care of their emotional and their mental health.
Yes, yeah.
This isolation leaves us very literally isolated and on our own, and then you could open the doors of your salon and just be overwhelmed with all these people that you haven't seen.
And actually, funnily enough, Liz, you recently did a piece for Hairdressers Journal about the isolation that salon owners can feel even inside the salon. Like now, if you're physically in your own space without your team around you, you could feel even more isolated.
Totally isolated. And because you can't actually get into that environment every day. Like, I know I'm struggling because I'm working from home and I'm not working in my office. So I really have to bring my office environment into my head and into my home. And I think it's the same, because you're disjointed now from your salon. It's hard to hold on to it, but you have to. Strangely enough, the day before yesterday, I got about 4 people contacting me who said, Liz, how do I cope with the loneliness? Now, that's not a question that normally comes into my day-to-day work.
No, yeah.
So lonely is the last thing you feel in the salon, with everybody hammering down your door the whole time. So that's what I mean. I think people need to be mindful about their emotional health, and so that doesn't go down, so that you are firing on all cylinders whenever the doors open up again. So I think it's very important to put a discipline on yourself, that your day has structure.
And how can you create like a little office inside your home? Like, what would you suggest from that to kind of get that motivation?
Yes, some little space that you go to every day. That is your business, to work on your business rather than in it, because you can't work in it.
No,
but you can actually work on it. Yes.
We've just had Janan has just said that she's working from home and she's remote teaching, and she keeps losing her connection, and it gets very frustrating, and she feels angry, and she's worried that she's not doing enough for her learners at the moment, but she doesn't feel like there's anything she can do. I mean, so I guess that's kind of a slight feeling of helplessness when you want to work on your business and help the people around you.
So I would totally agree, and I can so identify with that space. I'm the most untechnical person that I know, and that's normally fine, because it's generally other people in my office that can say, oh, you just press this button or you just press that button. But I've actually put that on my to-do list, something that I need to upskill in. So the help is there. So like, I think we've got to have patience with ourselves, and stop trying to run before you can walk. This is going to go on. So if you're doing online courses, you know what, if you need 2 or 3 days to upskill in the technical end of things, take that. People will wait for you. They're not going anywhere. So I think it's our own frustrations we have to learn to cope with, first of all, because we're stuck with them, and to actually see that as a positive. It's awful, it's really annoying, but I have to learn this, and I may as well just use this time to learn it.
And how much time a day do you reckon people should start dedicating to their businesses during this period? Well,
I think a structure is important, and you're perfectly right. Someplace in the house to go to, that's where I do my business thinking. So what are we allowed to do at the moment? Well, we're allowed to go out for exercise, and we're allowed to go to the shop. So I'm sort of building my day around two little outings. and also I'm putting time, which we never do in salons, to actually sit down and have lunch. So I have like an outing in the morning, an outing in the evening, and a lunch break. Brilliant. So that's how I start off. And then I think it's really important that you do not go to bed any night without your plan for the next day. So if you're working on your business, when you finish at a certain time, what am I going to do tomorrow? So you're never waking up sort of saying, well, I haven't a clue what to do. I've nothing to do. So I'll just go and sit and look at the television. And then you're going to feel frustrated. You know, there's a great sense of achievement attached to being in a salon. Every client that leaves looking great, feeling great about herself. And, you know, without us ever really giving ourselves credit for that, then actually, how do you continue to get that feeling every single day? When I think you set your goals for yourself, this is what I'm going to achieve tomorrow, no matter how small it is, and you achieve them.
What would you say? So say, for instance, everyone watching this session this morning, they're watching this session because they're thinking, today I'm going to dedicate some time to my business. I've had a bit of a rest now. I've recovered from all that's been going on. What can people do today just to sort of start easing into what part of their business should they start looking at? Okay, so you've got yourself set up, and I think you say, I'm going to start at this time and I'm going to end at that time. So you actually put a time frame on it, and you break your day. I often do something in my workshops, which is like what I'm not tolerating. So very often when I'm working with business owners, one of the first things I'll do is I will, on my flip chart, say, right, okay, what are the things that are getting on your nerves? What are the things that you are sick of in your business? What are you never going to tolerate anymore? And mostly the feedback that I get is, oh, my staff is, they hate when I come to you because they know it's always going to be different when I go back. But I think you have time, you have time to tidy up. Everybody I know is after cleaning up their houses. Now it's time to clean up your business. So that for me is a really good starting point, where, you know, what is getting on my nerves? You could just have a bit of paper in front of you, like a list. Okay. And from that list, that becomes my tidy up list. So
I don't know, the petty, not never having enough money in the petty cash box gets on my nerves. Well, then let's set up a petty cash system. So write out for yourself, sit with yourself. And I think that's the biggest challenge everybody has, is actually sitting down with themselves, because there's no distractions now. And actually write out all the things that are bugging you, or were bugging you in your salon, all the things that get in your nerves. And then say, right, how now I have time to fix those things so that my housekeeping is all in order when I get back to my business. So that would be just a starting off point. Then I like to break businesses into several categories. So customer service being one, sales being another, marketing being another, the actual environment of the business, you know, the nuts and bolts of the chairs and the mirrors and all of that sort of thing. And take each category of the business and think about how, what would I like to change? So in terms of the customer service, you know, if I'm the owner, I have a certain way of running my business. Now, I might often spot juniors or stylists doing something a different way. So let's write out your customer service journey. This is how I want it. So that could take a week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to stop you very quickly. Yeah, it's because we've got a few people asking a few things. We've had motivation seems to be a big one that's cropping up there. How do you keep yourself and your teams motivated during this time? And do you have any tips for that?
One.
And then the other question we're getting is online training. A lot of people are sort of desperate for more online training to have for themselves and their team. And obviously HJ's Virtual Week will be putting up all of our sessions on our website. But do you have any advice for where people can go for online training and also that motivation aspect?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about what I'm doing, because I'm not really, don't really know what other people are providing.
Yeah.
I just, the day before yesterday, put up a webinar on my website, lizmckeon.com, 11 tips to navigating your way through coronavirus. And I'm going to suggest take one tip a day.
Brilliant.
So that's my
anyone
webinar.
Can access that on your website?
Oh yeah, just lizmckeon.com and it's on the homepage. Last week, I put up 14 days to working on your business, a whole podcast series. Because while I'm coming online every day and saying, oh, work on your business, people were contacting me and saying, Liz, I don't know what working on my business means. I've never had time to do it. So I've actually put up 14 days to working on your business, a 15-minute podcast every day. So if I can be
15 minutes, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? You can give yourself 15 minutes this morning to get yourself motivated, listen to it.
And I've put up the whole 14 days, so you can do one day, you can do 5 days, you can do the whole 14 days. I'm suggesting you listen to it with a notebook and pen, and at the end of each section you have, you take your notes and you get your to-do list in each section. So that will keep you busy every day if you want to work on your business, because I'm seeing the same thing happening that I see a lot in salons, where all the emphasis goes, and I'm not being critical of this in any way, all the emphasis goes on upskilling technically.
Yes.
If you want to get your businesses, you know, but you're all working with people who are highly skilled technically anyway. What we want to do is get you ready for those tills to be absolutely bursting when you get back.
Well, actually, Liz, Bella B Hair Studio, she's just come in and said that she's using this time to create a salon handbook.
That's what I'm talking about.
So everything's in order once she gets back into the salon. So that
and that is a big chunky piece of work that would normally take a couple of months. You'd never get a couple of months when the salon is open. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm writing a salon manual, my first section on it will be the customer service journey. Literally, how do you open the door for clients? How do you answer the phone? How do you gown them up? Where do you put them sitting? So that actually becomes a training manual.
And you're kind of going back to basics, start at the beginning, think about your client walking through that door, or even when they first contact you to make a booking, whether it's on the phone or via their phone.
And I have a phrase in this: the devil is in the detail. And most business owners that I meet, they have all the detail up here. But they don't get time to communicate it to everybody else. So now you've time to actually sit with yourself and take what's in your mind out of your mind and down in writing, and build manuals. Build your manuals for when you get back, so everybody knows what they're at. That is a meaty piece of work which will take a bit of time. Unbelievably useful to have.
Definitely. And then Bella B's also said she's feeling very anxious about returning because going to be. Should salons extend their hours? Should they be disciplined to keep within their hours once the salon reopens?
Now, everybody's asking me these sort of questions, and I feel you're going too far ahead when you're talking about that. Okay, right. I think we've got to sit with the anxiety. The anxiety is there. It's in the air. Like when I do go out to the shop, the anxiety is actually, it's so weird. It's in the air outside. So I think park when the doors reopen, because we don't know when that's going to be. So just leave that. You will be ready, because you will have time to think about it. You know, with services, there's a ceiling on services. You know, we can all only work so many hours a day, and you can only do so many clients. I'm going to suggest looking at it from a different perspective, and instead of worrying about when the doors reopen, start thinking about instead of that, how do I keep in touch with my clients? Now, while I would be saying, you've got to be strict with yourselves now about cash flow. Unless you've got a very good online shop working, there is no cash flow there at the moment. It's gone. And I think that's where the anxiety is coming from. Your businesses have been shut for the first time ever. No matter how bad a week was, you'd always have somebody coming in. There is nothing coming in now unless you have another revenue stream. And I think that's the anxiety. So we've got to accept that. So I think there's practical things to be attended to. You get on the phone to your accountant, you go through your bank statements, and you say, right, let's you know what's leaking out of the bucket. You know, let's kind of tidy the business up financially. What do I need to keep spending on during this time? What do I need to stop? So get to grips with your finances first of all. And I think that will relieve a certain amount of the anxiety. It's not a nice exercise to do, and that's why I'm suggesting you get a bit of hand holding with it. Don't try and do it by yourself. You're paying an accountant to help you. Ring them up. I need your help. I need to tidy up the business financially so that I know what my responsibilities are financially for the foreseeable future. If I need to go and secure credit, I go and secure it. So I think do that horrible exercise, and it is a horrible exercise.
If anyone does anything today, they should phone the accountant, and they should start creating a spider diagram of all the things they're not happy with about their salon.
Completely. And get your finances sorted out. So that's the next thing. Now, when you've that done, and that's a stressful exercise. If you can. The rest of the day, that's very stressful. After that, I'm going to say the next thing to do is to start looking at your marketing activities for this time.
Right.
You want to ring fence your clients. Okay. Everybody else is going to want to make money when they reopen. So you need to ring fence your clients, and you need to stay in the forefront of their minds. Definitely.
We did a session yesterday with Jo Robertson, and she said she received a text message from her beauty therapist just to say, "Are you okay?" Nothing else, but just to say, as a client, "Are you okay?" And I thought that was quite a positive thing to do.
It's so important now, because there's no doubt about it. I feel we will go into a recession after this. Of course we will. But hair salons shouldn't matter to hair salons. However, what you don't want to do is go back, open your doors, and your customers gone to other people. That is what you do not want to happen. So in a recession, and while I'm saying curtail your spending and put a shape on that, the one thing I'm not saying to stop is marketing. And history has shown that during down times, the companies that market and continue to market during a recession will be the ones that will absolutely rocket when the downturn is over. So normally I'd be saying, keep in touch in marketing and keep selling your services, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that now. I'm saying keep in touch with your clients. Like that text, just checking that you're okay. I'm always saying to people in salons, you underestimate just how important you are in your customers' lives. You are very important to your clients, far more so than just doing their hair. You're a lifetime to them. Now,
and know everything about them more often than not. So you're in a good position to ask if they're okay. And
of course, because you know what, as this continues, people are going to crave human connection. I know when I go for my walk every morning, I'm just smiling at people I wouldn't even notice, but I'm smiling at everyone because I want people to say hello to me. So we are going to be absolutely craving connection as this continues. As human beings, it's very hard to do without that. That's where the isolation comes in. Now, we are very fortunate that we live in such a world, in a time where technology is so there and available for us. I think we've got to keep in touch with our clients, not from a selling perspective, because you've nothing to sell. If you don't keep in touch with them now, then that is really giving out the message, well, I really only care about you when you're spending money.
Yeah.
That text message that Joe got yesterday is saying, I care about you.
Yeah. And so, as you say, there's no sales pitch. It's just a genuine, thoughtful message. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what we're saying is, you are important to me. So I think rather than worrying about when the doors reopen, focus on how can I stay in touch with my clients, and what are my marketing activities going to be online and offline over the coming months. What do I need to do with my database? Now, there's probably another body of work to be done there that people are always saying, oh, I haven't time. So have a look at your database. Does it need to be cleaned up? Does it need to be tidied up? What do you need to learn about your marketing? Do you want to learn how to send out your newsletters every week? You know, do you have time to actually maybe, you know, spend a little bit of time with your software company and actually dig deep into your reports on your software? Do you need to learn the marketing function on the software that you have?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just understanding all the spreadsheets you get sent, and you maybe don't understand what all the columns mean. And
So, you know, we're talking about, you know, online training for other people, but actually, what online training do you need yourself? And actually, you know, learn all of that and start a very, very enjoyable marketing, you know, become a marketer in this time. Stay in front of your clients, ring fence them, hold on to them for yourself. Make sure that you are the number one choice when your doors reopen, because there's so many other places they can go. So do not fall off their radar, because if you fall off their radar, somebody else is going to take them.
Liz, what are your thoughts on giving clients incentives to come back as soon as the salon's open? Would you give it to them, or would you just allow them to just come anyway without kind of offering any sort of discount or incentive or recommend a friend or anything like that?
Today I'm saying there will be no need for that, because there will be such a demand. I don't know how long this is going to go on. I would hate to see a pricing war going on between salons just to get people back. You don't need that. They are going to come back anyway. Don't forget, you've lost whatever length of time, and you know, we're looking at this being a lot longer than people would have said at the start. You know, and the money that's gone is gone. That's not going to come back. So I think when I'm saying work on your business, make sure that you've got a very profitable engine when you open those doors again.
I think it was Bella B Boutique who said earlier about, you know, should they sort of open all hours, you know, try and make some money back, I guess.
You're not going to make the money back.
No.
Accept it. It's gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when it snows and we're all locked in for a week or whatever. You don't make that money back. You draw a line under it and you go again. So I'm back to repeating, stop worrying about that. We don't know when it's going to be. It is going to be for the long term. If you think about it, all the clients that you see on a 6-week or an 8-week turnaround, they're all going to be want to be in week 1. So if you open from 8 in the morning till 2 the following morning, you're not going to be able to sustain that.
Yes. Oh, we've had a very good question there, Liz.
So
we've had somebody who's just said, Michelle's hair salon has said they do 5 stamps, so 1 each visit, and then they get £5 off, which she wants to continue.
Yeah.
So loyalty card continuation. But someone else has said they were planning to do a price increase for April. Should they still do it? And if so, should they inform their clients now or later?
So now we're back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, is it's time to sit with yourself. Time to actually sit and reflect. The world is changing. Whatever plans you had for your business in 2020, park them, because you're going to have to adapt and you're going to have to change. So forget about those kind of things for the moment. Yeah. We don't know how long it's going to go on.
So that increase rate, will just kind of forget about that.
Park it.
Now. Yeah.
Actually forget about it for the moment. You know, we're moving into a different world. and we don't know what it's going to be like. So that's what I mean. That is everybody's biggest challenge, to sit with themselves and let things go. And it's almost like, it's like a second start for your business, isn't it? That now can almost pretend, well, I'm just starting my business again.
Yeah.
It's like opening up a new business. So I'm just going to, and I've had 2 years, 5 months, 10 years practicing, and now I'm going to open up a new business. So what are all the things to get this new business highly profitable, working really well? What do I need to think about now? So it's just like pretending I'm starting a new business in 2 months, 3 months, whatever length of time this thing goes on for, and view it that way. So what can I take from the past that worked and bring it to my new business? And what can I take from my past business that I'm just going to let go because it aggravated and annoyed me too much?
Yeah.
So to move your head into that sort of zone, rather than this is what I planned for April and I'm now going to introduce it in July. We don't know what we're facing into, and that's where the anxiety comes from.
So is now a good time to kind of look at your service menu and think, look, what services can we offer and how can we package things up in different ways, and start again from that point of view?
Completely, to actually do, so I'm sort of saying, get your customer service right. Then let's look at your money. And look at your whole pricing, look at your productivity, look at, because I work in so many salons that are really, really, really busy. In fact, an awful lot of my work revolves around this, working with people who are incredibly busy and not profitable.
Yeah.
That, now is your time to actually sit with that and go through your price list and, what services are profitable, what services aren't profitable, where are we losing money, and make sure that when you stop, that all those leaks aren't there anymore. So yes, a huge big job to be done on that. But again, I think you need to work with your software companies, with your accountants, and just say, help me with the price list. I'm really good on the skill set of things, but or on the technical work, but I'm not good at this.
No, someone's actually said that's Kay for Cuts has said that's how they feel. They feel they're super busy but not profitable. So I guess that for them, this is the perfect thing to do, is to look at that structure and where the pricing is and services on offer.
Totally. And mostly, I work with people and they're all in that spin. We all know they're in it, and they can't get off the wheel. Now the hamster wheel has stopped. Yeah. And that is the sort of thing to say, well, right, if I'm reopening, I'm not going to continue putting 70 hours into my business and me not getting paid.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the business not in profit, or not worrying about the wages all month and all that sort of thing. So that's what I meant when I said the things that are getting on your nerves and aggravating you, put them on a list of paper, and over these weeks, just work on it. How am I going to change it? But I think it's very, very important that you use your external team to help you. They're free. They're sitting at home doing it as well. So in my workshops, I always talk about your internal and your external team. Now, your internal team I regard as being like the people that you employ. Your external team are the people that you pay. They're not, they're not your employees, but they're your suppliers. And you're not using them in your normal day-to-day work. You're not using them enough because you don't have time. Yeah. Use your accountants, use your software companies, use your bookkeepers to actually sit and say, get on the phone with them, have calls with them and say, teach me what I need to know.
Definitely.
Somebody came into my workshop last year and she had everybody in stitches laughing because she said she went to her accountant and she brought 2 tubes of colour with her.
Yeah.
And she put them on the desk and on his desk, and she said, tell me how to use those. And he said, I don't know what to do. What are they? And she said, well, they're tubes of colour. And he said, well, how would you expect me to use them? I'm an accountant. I'm not a hairdresser. And she said, precisely. Now, she said, I'm a hairdresser. I'm not an accountant. And speak to me in my own language.
That's very good, actually. Yes, exactly. Don't be bamboozled by all the words. Get them to spell it out in simple.
Yeah. So learn your spreadsheets, learn your accounts, learn where your money goes.
And I guess ask the question, if you don't know, ask your accountant, explain this to them.
Yeah, because, the one criticism I would have of salon owners is you're normally really hard to get. Like, anybody who comes and works in my office, they just like, oh, Liz, everyone's so hard to get. On average, it takes us about 10 calls to get a hold of a salon owner because you're always
just said that they think that they have to be there for their clients because some of them may have lost their jobs, priorities may be different. You need to kind of act like counsellors at the moment.
You know what, I kind of have a question mark over that as well. You're experts in your hair, you know, in hair. That is your area of expertise. And I think you've highlighted something that I see quite a lot in salons. And again, it's not a criticism, it's just feedback. You lose money in your salons because you get over involved in that side of things. And if that's the way you're feeling now, that's probably the way you run your, you are in your business, and maybe it's time to actually think about reducing that.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
You're an expert, and now is your time without well, now is your time to get ready for what is really going to be your time to absolutely shine. And when I work in businesses, I have a little rule, and I call it like my 50-50 rule in relation to talking and yapping.
Yes, yeah. And I guess if you're talking, you're not necessarily always working at the same time. So that's time you could be giving to the next client and the next client. And
yes.
Yeah.
But, see yourself as an expert and step into that position, own that position. And, it's much more interesting for me, a customer, to be in your salon and you tell me how to manage my hair at home, what products I should be using, how to put in curlers, all of that, than it is to me dumping my stuff on you. And so, maybe go there, but don't stay there with your customer.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, own your position, and your position is an expert.
And share those expertise with clients. People do want to reach out to their clients. Time when somebody like me doesn't have a hairdresser to do their hair.
Look at me.
Is it better to reach out and say, look, if you want any tips or advice, contact me, that kind of thing?
Look, does anybody in the world feel right if their hair isn't right?
No.
It's
a bad day if you don't like your hair.
And at the moment, every day is a bad hair day. And this is precisely what I was talking about when I was saying, like, keep in touch with your clients. So yes, hi, hello, how are you keeping? I've been thinking about you is wonderful, and it's a really good starting point. But it could be like, hi Claire, I know you really struggle with cutting your fringe. Here's or when your fringe gets long, I'm not there to cut it for you. Here's a few tips for you. So that's what I mean about you being the expert. Now take that expertise and communicate it to your clients. Use your knowledge, use your information, and go out and educate your clients online or offline or whatever way you want to do it.
I guess things like dry styling tips, how to start braid your own hair or something like that people can do just to make their day a bit brighter.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the technical stuff, because obviously we want everyone to go back to the hair salon.
You want people to go back to you.
Yeah.
But you know what, the girl I go to for threading, she actually sent me a text and she said, Liz, if you can manage it, please do not touch those eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just leave them alone.
But I'm here for you if you need me.
Yeah.
So she was actually, and and that was quite clever, because she was now saying, I'm the expert. Don't go put up with those eyebrows. With you, but you're coming back to me to fix them.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of messaging is really, really important. So take care of them, look after them. If you don't, that's saying I'm only interested in you when you're spending money.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. So the message is like, I'm here to help. How can I help?
Brilliant.
And people will always want to buy from you when you approach things from how can I help. So be there, like, you know, you're not selling, you're not doing anything. And I'm watching like the top marketing people in the world at the moment. None of them are pushing out online products for sale. They're all coming on, you know, top marketing gurus in the world are all giving away information for free now, teaching people, giving away their knowledge and their expertise. And I think if that's what they're doing, well, then we just follow them. That's what Definitely. We need to do as well. I was telling somebody yesterday, again, back to the thing that, you know, salon owners and people working in salons don't understand just how important you are in customers' lives. Last year, I was in a salon working, and the owner had to leave the room to take a call. And when she came back in, she said, you know, that we send birthday cards in the post to people to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
And she said that call was actually from somebody saying, thank you so much, you made my day. That's the only birthday card I've received.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, you've got to stay in touch with them. And I think online and offline, because they're uncomfortable in this isolation. Yeah. Well, we're all lost. Everybody is lost and lonely at the moment. So yes, use that.
Yeah, if you did know it was a client's birthday, going to the effort of actually walking to the post box and posting a card. Yes. If it did arrive a few days late, that could just make all the difference, couldn't it?
But look at the goodwill that generates.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes a win-win. Like, I'm here to help. You know, you can't come into my salon. I can't take any money from you at the moment. If you need any products, I can post them to you. But apart from that, how can I help? How can I help? Let's just stay in touch and and do that.
We have had a question from UB Hair saying, how can we as a booking service help hairstylists and barbers during this time?
I would think they could help in how do we use your booking system more effectively.
Yeah.
You know, how do we teach people how to diary manage an awful lot more? How do we teach people the importance of not having any white space and managing that white space more effectively? So I would think it would be really helpful if they could teach their accounts how to use their systems more effectively.
Definitely. That's really nice.
Yeah. That would be. Now, there's another thing, if that's okay. We're all right for time.
Yeah, we've got loads of people that are super interested and listening and wanting to know more. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So I have another thing that I would really like people to really think about: business owners and business managers. And this is something that, you know, people need to be mindful of. If somebody wants to learn a new color technique or bring in new color, they'll go and they learn how to do it. But, you know, people open up salons all the time because they love doing the work. They love the clients and they love the technical side of things. They underestimate the importance of learning how to be an entrepreneur, learning the business side of things. They individually run a very effective column, and then they take on more people, thinking that, you know, those people are going to run automatically and just run those columns the same.
And Liz, I'm guessing those styles of salon owners, or maybe even freelance hairdressers at this time, might shy away from the business side.
You can't. Now is your time. But one thing I am asking people to sit with themselves and figure out is their own management skills. If you are managing a team, you are the team leader. Now, I'm not saying this to frighten anybody, your salons are closed anyway, but our industry has the second highest failure rate of all business sectors. And the number one reason for that is poor management skills, because nobody teaches us to be a manager.
Salon.
And all of a sudden you end up with a team of 10 people, 20 people, 40 people, and you know, you didn't sign up for that. And managing other people seems that the two questions or the two challenges I find people have the most are managing their cash flow. I mean, I'm talking about the normal course of events, and managing their teams. So if I want things around me to change, then guess what? I have to change first, and I've got to look at myself. And I run management courses a few times a year, and always people come into the room, and it's just like for the first half hour, everybody just wants to complain about all their teams. And it's like, and they like them all on an individual basis, but they're challenging managing people. and I have to let it, let everybody vent for a few minutes, and then it's right. Okay, now we're going to forget about your teams and we're going to look at you. So I think one thing that I would like people to kind of take into consideration, if I take this time to, change my management approach, improve my leadership skills, upskill as a team leader, will that make my life a little bit easier when I get back? So yes, where do I need to talk to my HR company? Do I need to study my own handbook? Do I need to go on a little bit of online training in terms of my own management? What do I need to do to keep myself highly motivated in relation to that? Because I can't motivate other people unless I'm highly motivated. So how do I keep myself motivated so that when I go back, and what do I need to learn about managing a team so that when we reopen the doors, I am an outstanding team leader? That only the best people want to work for me because I am the best. So
I guess it's about looking inwards as well, kind of getting a blank sheet of paper and thinking, what are my personal strengths, my weaknesses?
Yes.
What do I do well? What do I shy away from doing? So kind of having some frank conversations with yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's a really hard thing to do. But I think if you are a team leader, you are a manager, now's the time to sort of sit with yourself and say, how can I be a better manager? Because if I improve, and it's only a skill, so if I can work on that skill a little bit. So now I'm working on my customer service, I'm working on my money, I'm working on my marketing, and I'm working on my own management skills.
Definitely.
So, and I'm upskilling in terms of technology and how to use my software. Now, is that giving everybody enough to work on? So if I took an hour a day to work on each one of those aspects of my business, that's 5 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads to go with there, isn't there? We have had a few questions during that last part. So how can I help to invoke change for someone who doesn't want to change or see the need to change? That's quite a tricky one, isn't it?
Well, I can lead a horse to water, but it can still die of thirst.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't force it to drink.
And again, this comes up in my management course all the time. And I started my first business in 1989. So over the years, I've employed quite a lot of people. And I've made mistakes so many times. And a huge mistake that I've made over and over and over again is employing people on their skill, not on their attitude. When it doesn't work, it's rarely skill, because it can always teach people, we can always upskill technically. But when it doesn't work out, it tends to be attitude, because there's only one person's attitude I'm in control of, and that's my own. I cannot change somebody else's attitude. So maybe that goes on your to-do list.
Yeah. Is now a good time to think about your team as well, and think about strengths and weaknesses, and how they need to improve.
And what sort of people do my clients like working with? What sort of people do I like working with? What is the company culture? What fits into my team? Mm-hmm. So do people have the right personality to work on my floor? And, they're tough questions to ask, but all I can do with somebody's attitude is point it out to them. And, if they're willing to change, great. But if they're not, then there's a bigger question to be asked. Are they in the right place? Now, I know that has HR issues and implications, and I'm not talking about that, but, and to learn from it is, in future, I need to find out what people's attitude actually is, and can I manage it? And I used to do a lot, I don't so much now because I travel so much, but I used to do a lot of recruitment for business owners, because again, they wouldn't have time to do it. And I would have a sheet of paper with 4 questions beside me, with all my paperwork when I'm running an interview. And in a strange way, I found it easier to interview for other people than for myself, because you're so close to it when it's yourself. But I have 4 questions. Now, I know if you have somebody on your team, maybe there's not a lot you can do about it right now, but moving forward. And my 4 questions would be, can this person do the job?
Yeah.
Will my clients like this person? Will this person fit into the team? And can I manage them? Mm. And they are the 4 questions that I continually use for recruitment. And I think where we go wrong is we're inclined, but again, because salon owners and managers are in such a rush, all the time. Can they do the job technically? So we bring people in. Hello, how are you? Yeah, they look okay. Right, sit down. Here's a trade test, and we try them out technically. Yes, they're really good at colour. They're really good at cut. Yeah, okay, she looks fine. Great. Okay, turn up on Monday. But I actually learned to change it around, and I would spend time interviewing people. Will the clients like them? Will they fit into the team? And most importantly, can I manage them? Then I trade test. And if I'm unsure about any of those 3 questions, it doesn't matter how good somebody is technically. No. If I can't manage them, then you know, they're making my life harder.
Exactly.
I have a nice team. I don't want anybody upsetting the team. I want somebody to bring extra skills and slot into that team. And you know, my clients, there are bread and butter. Why would I bring somebody in that they're not going to like? Again, tough things to have to think about, but what have we got plenty of right now? Time.
Yeah.
So time to actually think about, and this is how, and maybe review, this is how I've been handling this situation. It has helped. How am I going to handle it?
Have those frank conversations once you go back and say, look, we do need to talk this through, and you do need to change your attitude. You know, this is what we need to see from you in the next few months.
Now, on that one, now we're starting to compile where we are, when we open. And you know, we could say, right, we're going, whenever we reopen, we're going to open on Monday morning, and we're going to be flat to the mat, and I'm not, you know, for the next 3 months. I would be saying all these changes that you have decided are going to be in your business, that you actually, you know, have a very, you know, clear-cut meeting with your team day 1. So maybe you put this in your to-do list. If we're opening on Monday, whatever week it is, that from 9 to 10 I have a staff meeting. I have my customer service journey. I have my marketing plans for the next month. We have our new pricing. We have our new our new scheduling and our new diary management system. And I have what I'm not tolerating. So I have my not tolerating this. So we're here, and we're ready, you know, we're ready, you know, we're ready for that. But this is a new world. This is a new business. I have been working very consistently over the, you know, the weeks that we've been shut. Here's how this salon is going to operate from now on.
Definitely.
So all the things that I'm saying to work on your business, that will all fold into a new operations manual.
That's on guide.
And that's why I'm not saying to people, oh, do this, that, and the other, for when your salon opens. I think there's a big body of work to be done in the meantime about fixing what needs to be fixed.
And if you don't use this time to do it, when you do open, all those old habits are just going to come straight back in.
And you know, and the wheel will be going even faster, and there'll be less money in the bank. So now it's about housekeeping. It's about business housekeeping, tidying it all up. And I think, you know, if you really, really, really love your business, then there won't be a problem with motivation, because every day you'll have 5, 6, 7 hours work to do on fixing that engine so that it is a serious money-making machine when you open the doors again.
Brilliant. Well, we've got a couple more questions.
Yeah, sure.
We're wrapping up, so I'm just going to Courtney Emily said she was about to open a salon beginning of April and planned to completely rebrand the business. Should she still do this, or is it business suicide at this time?
Again, I think there's a conversation to be had with your accountant and your business advisors on that. And I don't know the background. Have you got the money there to spend? If you have it to spend, that seems like a good idea to rebrand. If you haven't, maybe just hold on until the money is in the bank. So I think these are questions that your bank balance will answer. I think what's very distressing about this situation is we don't know how long it's going to go on for. We don't know how long we're going to be in this lockdown, and you know, this no man's land. I think don't do anything that's going to increase your anxiety or increase your worry. There's nothing there that can't wait. And I also do think you know, we can keep going because there's going to be such a demand, but you know, maybe things will be at better pricing, you know, branding, advertising, signage, people, all that sort of thing. That might just be, you know, pricing might just be better. So slow down, sit with yourself, fix what you need to fix, fix the nuts and bolts of your business. All those other things will wait.
Brilliant.
answer.
No.
We don't know enough, but think about it a little bit more, take time to reflect on it.
And then Lindsay has said, do you have any tips on managing staff holiday once everyone does go back to work in the salon?
I think you've got to contact your HR companies with all these questions. These are sort of legal compliance questions. So I think, organise a call with your HR company and get very definitive, clear answers, so that again you're very straightforward in all of that. We don't know, like, we're waiting for our government guidelines all the time in relation to this sort of thing. I think we've got to accept that, you know, these are politicians, they're not entrepreneurs.
Yes, of course.
You know, the paperwork is a bit worth changing on a daily basis, you know, with government policies. So I think what will be right now is not going to be right in a couple of months. So keep in touch with your HR company. If you don't have a HR company, now is the time to do a little bit of research and find one.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah. So another thing to do for the to-do list over the next few days. If you don't have an HR company, get one.
Yeah, we're not employment law specialists, so take the direction from the specialists on that one.
Brilliant. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everyone's questions. If anyone else has a burning question, please do put it in right now. But I guess just to summarize then, Liz, because you came up with a few points that people can get literally started with today, didn't you?
Yes, it is.
Kind of get in touch with your accountant.
Get in touch with your accountant, organise your HR company, get in touch with your software company, and make sure you know that you're an expert in that, and work on your business. Please, if I can be of any help, my website is just lizmckeon.com. I have my 14 days to working on your business podcast series there. So if you're sitting there and saying, I don't know even where to start on day one with me.
Definitely, and that's a 15-minute session.
15-minute session every day
after this.
But very practical, and you'll have your to-do list at the end of it. So if you're unsure about where to start, or just join me on day one.